Welcome everyone to our MindsDB in Practice webinar. I am your host, Chandre. I'm the Community and Marketing Coordinator of MindsDB. And with us today, we have Technical Product Manager Martina, Senior Technical Product Managers Alejandro Canto and David Fraser. Please give them a warm welcome. They will be presenting what's going to come in the future for our open source, as well as a sneak preview of what's coming for Minds, our enterprise product. So we are super excited to be showcasing that today. Um, for those who are new here, feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. Let us know where you're from and what you do for a living. If you have a use case with MindDB, please let us know so we can see how we can assist. At the end of the presentations, we will take questions and we will have a quick Q&A session. On your bottom of your screen, there would be a Q&A tab. Please post any questions you have in there. Right. So welcome to those who have already joined, our participants. So without further ado, I'm going to give over to Martina, who's going to give us a preview of what's to come in open source.
Thank you, Chandra, and hello, everyone. So I'm going to showcase what's coming in the next major release of MindsDB, and this will include also a sneak peek into the new agents that we are introducing in this release and some of the backward-breaking changes. So let me start with the quick presentation of what's coming, and then I'll move on to the demo. All right, so we have several integrations that are coming new and some that we are deprecating. We have knowledge bases, performance optimized knowledge bases, and agents which are using a new agentic framework, which I will demo. So for integrations, we have a number of integrations available within MindsDB, and our team is verifying them one by one to give them the officially supported status. So in this release, the new integrations that are coming fully supported are Oracle, Databricks, HubSpot, Amazon Redshift, TimescaleDB, MariaDB, Shopify, and Oracle NetSuite. So this will be available in MindsDB. And as for deprecating integrations, we are completely removing LangChain. So as you may know, our agents were using LangChain as a underlying agentic framework. So this is changing now. We are also deprecating the ML capabilities of MindsDB. We are directing MindsDB towards being the federated query engine with AI features such as agents. But primarily, MindsDB is a tool to collect data from different data sources, apps, and bring it into AI agents, AI applications. So the ML handlers are going to be deprecated with one exception, being the BYOM, which is bring your own model. So users can still upload their own models and use it within MindsDB. As for knowledge bases, there are some changes coming in. We are introducing the default batch inserts to optimize the performance of inserting data into the knowledge base. This works especially for large-scale data. There will be, of course, set up to enable, disable this default batch inserts depending on the underlying vector store of a knowledge base. And as for backward breaking changes, until now, we have been using ChromaDB as a default vector store for knowledge bases. What you may be familiar with, ChromaDB was one of them, and pgvector is another one that we officially support with knowledge bases. And pgvector is enabling all of the knowledge base feature, while ChromaDB was not. There were some features like hybrid search that were not available with ChromaDB. Therefore, we are changing that. And when using MindsDB via Docker, there will be a default pgvector. So when you use MindsDB via Docker, you can still create a knowledge base without providing any storage. By default, it will use pgvector. It is slightly different for MindsDB when you use a Python package. There we have no default vector store. So when creating knowledge base there, one needs to first connect their vector store like pgvector and then use that to create a knowledge base. So that would be a backward breaking change if one is using knowledge bases with default storage now. And moving on to agents. So as I mentioned before, we are deprecating LangChain from the MindsDB codebase, and currently we are switching to Pydantic Agentic Framework, which is going to be powering our MindsDB agents. What follows with that, the performance of agents is optimized, and we are making this feature more reliable. Also, there is a flexibility to format the responses into a natural language or a SQL table with defined columns. So that is all. And now we can have a look at the agents demo that is not yet available, but will be in around mid-February when this release is published. So I've created some tables with the data about products. 1 second. All right, here. So we have product ID, we have product name and category, and this was generated based on our demo data, Amazon reviews, using our custom LLM function to enhance the content, the hashing function to create IDs. So we have one with products, and we have another table with reviews, where the sentiment value was generated with the LLM function here. So having these two tables, I'm going to create an agent and connect these two tables to it. So the syntax for creating new agents is the same. Nothing has changed there. What's new is the mode parameter. So this is an optional parameter that you can use to indicate the response mode that you want to achieve with agents. By default, we use text. There is also SQL. And this will be explained in details later on as well. So I'll go ahead and create an agent. And now I can start asking some questions. So here, I can do it either by querying the agent using the select statement or in our chat window, which I will show you afterwards as well. So here I'm selecting an answer column. So when you select answer column, you can expect a more or less natural language response from the agent and asking a very simple question: how many reviews are negative? All right. So the answer is 4. I can also double check that by querying directly from the table. So it checks out. So now another cool feature that we have with Minds now, with agents, is that users can define column names in the select statement, and then the agent is going to generate content. So you can have a made up column here that fits the context of your data, of your question, of course, but a column that is not existent. And the agent is going to generate content for it based on the question, based on the column name. So this enables you to format the response from the agent. So here I want to have product category and average sentiment, and that's the question I am asking here. So so here I expect to get the output in the form of a table with these two columns that I've defined. All right, let me try that again. Some issues. We are still working on this. So the branch may be a bit unstable at the moment. That's why I have this demo pre-recorded, but I decided to go live anyway. All right, so we are back on track. So we have it calculated the sentiment. You could also specify further instructions on how to calculate it. I see that it used like 0 for negative, 1 for positive, and calculated the average of that. So now, so that's how we can format the output with the new agents by defining the columns in the select and then asking questions, and the agent will figure out how to best bring it up. And also there is an option you can use select star, which kind of gives the freedom to an agent to decide on the output. So if I run a query like that and ask which product has the best reviews, I could expect a natural language response or just a record from the product table. So with so here we've got the record from the product table more or less. So so this is how you can use the new agents, play with them, and discover the features here. And besides querying agents, you can also use the chat. Select the agent. And the nice feature in the chat here is that you can see the thoughts. So when I ask this question, and we are still working on formatting this, so it is still kind of in a draft form, I would say. But in the thoughts of the agent, you can see execution plan, so what it is going to do, and also you can see the select query that was executed. So this is going to be in a nice code block where you can copy it, open it in the editor. So this is still coming. So yeah, that is all for agents, and that is all that's coming soon in the next release. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martina. Really appreciate it. If anyone has questions, feel free to pop a message in the chat. We will answer them after the presentations, or Martina can also answer them in the chat as well. Next up is Alejandro Canto. Over to you, Alejandro.
Right, let me share my screen. All right, let me know if people can see my screen really quick. All right, so I'm going to be talking today about knowledge bases. Martina kind of mentioned this a little bit about it, but on version 25.14, the one that's currently live out there, we released FICE. And FICE is a new way that we're trying to do to store vector information to make it high performant. So one of the reasons why we decided to do this is because we were looking that at some point when knowledge bases grow and scale, going to millions of rows, searching similarity search starts to take longer. Like it starts to take anywhere from like 5 seconds to 20 seconds to sometimes even minutes. And we want to go something that would go faster. So we developed FICE for users that are looking for high performant knowledge base. So I'm going to talk like there's mainly three reasons why we decided to do this. So one of it is FICE stores vectors in memory. So like that allows us to do really fast searches compared to Indisk or other databases. It was designed by Facebook and Meta today, so it's being battle tested for many, many years along billions of rows. And we really kind of wanted to have something that performs really fast for like really large scale databases. We did a webinar about this a couple of weeks ago, so also feel free to go check that out. But it was kind of a really cool exercise of how Vice works and like the performance uplifts you can get. So the main thing here is just like how to be able to use Vice. I'm just going to talk really quick about it. And the main thing is like we need to create a Vice handler. So whenever you actually want to use Vice, you need to go and execute this command, which is like create database, db Vice, use the docdb Vice engine. And this is the most important parameter where you're going to see insist like what are you going to persist this directory, right? Like where's the data and the vectors are going to persist inside your instance. So in this case, this is a home Ubuntu type of capability. And then from that point, everything is as we have already been doing it before. Just when we create that knowledge base, we just want to make sure that the storage is pointing directly to our FICE stack that we just created on our previous Great Database Handler. So rather than show you more commands, I just want to do a quick demo. And what we did in this demo that I'm going to show you, we have a data source, which is 2 million question and answer posts from Stack Overflow. So this is real world unstructured data. It's around 5 gigs in size. So kind of gives us a good idea of what a kind of very large knowledge base would be at. In this case, we set up MindsDB on a EC2 instance with 8 cores, 32 gigs in RAM, 100 gigs in memory, and it's currently running 25.14. We will be updating this as our new versions come out. It wasn't released today, it was released a couple of weeks ago. And we have two knowledge bases we can compare and contrast. One is running pgvector, right? Like which is running a normal pgvector extension, and the other one has a Vice extension that's running right into it. So let's see how that compares. So the main thing really knowing is like if the knowledge base is small, right? Like in this case, I have a small one for only 2,000 rows, and we run this query. Using Vice is going to do it in around half a second, so it's kind of like returns like really fast answers from that perspective. But if you also use pgvector, it actually runs also pretty fast. So there's really not much of a material difference if your knowledge base is going to be small. But if you start really going into like a really large data set, like the one we just created, so this one has 2 million rows, right? And we use Vice, it's going to take around 2 seconds, 3 seconds to get here. It took 4.4 seconds to search over 2 million rows of data. Um, Now, for comparison in pgvector, if we actually do this the same thing, but now I'm going to do it for an Ajax query, like, oh, that's actually was super fast too. It got 1 second. But the interesting part here is like, if I remove any type of metadata filter that will like make the actual query make it smaller and actually has to search around 2 million vectors, then the time that it takes to do it can really go and extend all the way up to like a few minutes. So I'm not gonna let anybody wait here, but go in here, try this out because it eventually can get all the way up from 20 seconds to 180 seconds. But with Vice, you can really get it under 5 seconds. So really excited to get developers that are looking for high performance knowledge bases to test our Vice handlers, being able to use this as we go. So this one's already taking a little of 30 seconds. So I'm not going to make everybody wait because this one will take longer and I can probably share a screenshot later of the actual result. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. Really appreciate it. I hope that you guys try and test it out. Let us know your feedback. If you experience any issues, feel free to report them on Slack for our team to have a look at. Okay, next up we have David Fraser, who would be presenting Minds. Over to you, David. David, you are muted.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. So you've seen all of the building blocks. I'm going to demonstrate what we're building on top of open source and for business users. So this is the Minds Cloud. I'm going to show what's coming up in version 1.4. Currently, we have version 1.3 in the cloud. And what I'm going to cover in the next few minutes, I'll try and keep it short because of in the interest of time on a Friday. So conversational history. So this is kind of the stateful conversational history that we recently updated in the cloud. We also have the data catalog. I'll run through that concept and how that can help improve answer quality, and then what's coming next. So again, expanding data catalog, workspaces, which is user management. And then an area that we're thinking about a lot more is scheduled reports for a lot of business users, specifically in the financial services space. So let's jump into it. I'll start initially with just a walkthrough of what you can see in the cloud. So this is just a conversation that was happening earlier. I'm connected to a Postgres synthetic sales ops data set. So 22 tables here. And with the current version, you can ask various questions. With the state history, what this allows you to do is ask an initial question, and then you can build on top of that. So I can start to filter based on this particular table. And I'm doing this just using, it's for more of a non-technical user. So it's in natural language. So I can ask follow-up questions up until the point where I can generate charts as well. And a few updates that we made recently. We support all of this functionality in our APIs. So we have the docs, so we've got the API reference. So you can see here we've got all of the references in here. Equally, we also have Python SDK as well for builders. I'll jump back to here. So there's a few things that is worth highlighting. So in this version, developers benefit from OpenAI compatible APIs, so requires minimal integration work. In this version, we're offering CSV export capabilities. And in the next version, we're going to be offer real-time visibility into the AI SQL generation. I'll show that in a moment. But in terms of the CSV exports, you click on expand. It will return the full result of the table. I can download that as a CSV. We have pagination as well. And then in terms of improving this particular agent, we're thinking a lot more about the agent logic. So in the current version, it generally tends to be a little bit more transactional. The newer version, it's more exploratory. So you can see the difference here in the chain of thoughts tab. There's a planning step, and then there's an execution step, but it's more of an exploration step. So what we're doing here is we're running multiple steps, and we're acquiring knowledge in the first step, and that will inform the next step, so on and so forth, in order to improve the answer quality here. So that's one thing that we're doing. And here I forced an error. So you can see a few retry attempts as well. So you can see that it's attempt 1 of 4, attempt 2 of 4, etc., etc. And the great thing is, again, we're completely being transparent about the logic and the reasoning of the agent. So that's the updates that we're making to the agent in 1.4. And then in terms of the data catalog, we have, just open this just to show everyone this. So the data catalog, you can think of it at a very high level. It's the Minds knowledge base. It's a map of your database structures, relationships, and data patterns that enables the agent to generate accurate SQL. It can be refreshed. So right now I'm connected to a HubSpot integration, and here I can edit the descriptions. I can do this at a column level and also at a table level. So this can help steer the agent in order to generate a more accurate SQL. And in addition to that, we're thinking more about how this becomes more useful to the end users, which are business users. So it's been able to highlight, once you connect to a particular integration, we can start to highlight the ambiguities, and the user can start to resolve those, ultimately, again, improving answer quality. In terms of the data catalog, what we're capturing is tables, columns, constraints, statistics. In relation to data privacy, the data never leaves your database. The catalog stores only the metadata, and no row level data is extracted or transmitted. So MindsDB generates SQL. The SQL execution happens entirely within the infrastructure. So a couple of things that are worth pointing out for 1.4, just to go back, was we're going to, in 1.4, we will have user management, the concept of personal and organization workspaces, as well as being able to admin and manage users within an organization. This ensures as well in the cloud that it's very low maintenance. You don't have to worry too much about provisioning. And then in terms of the ambiguities, we're extending the data catalog to ensure that we can start to highlight these ambiguities when users connect to data sources. So this is highlighting things like similar table names where there's conflicts, unclear joins and relationships. Again, enabling the user to begin to start to self-correct and improve the answer accuracy. And then the last point that I mentioned was we're thinking a little bit more about scheduling recurrent reports. This is a particular request that's coming in from customers within financial services. They run recurrent reports on a daily, on a weekly basis. So allowing users to be able to do that within our graphical user interface as well. And if you want to try this out, we have 2 tiers at the moment. We have the Pro, and then we have the Teams tier. This is on our pricing page in mindsdb.com. So that's everything that I wanted to cover. Any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Really appreciate it. If anyone does have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't see that we do have any questions in the chat. For those of you who are on, let me just see. We have one from Rituban. He says, informative session in phase. What happens on restart? Does Minds set auto persist the index, or do we need to rebuild it? That's for Alejandro.
Yeah, that's a good question, right? And like a lot of the main concerns regarding FIs is that since it works in memory, like what happens if the server restarts and crashes. But no, we do persist in memory. That's why we are setting up the handler and setting like the persistence directory, and that's where we can store those vectors. Now, for the actual querying and the actual performance side of things, we load it into memory, and that's where you like get that high performant on very large scale knowledge bases.
Thank you so much. Well, we are out of time. Firstly, thank you, David, Alejandro, and Martina for presenting. We really appreciate it. Also, thank you for the attendees that showed up. This recording will be available on YouTube in the next 24 hours. So if you'd like to revisit any information, feel free to check out our YouTube channel. And if you do think of any questions, feel free to post them on Slack in our questions channel. Our team will be happy to assist. So once again, thank you, everyone. Have yourself a lovely weekend. Bye.